So something I always get asked when I'm teaching lessons in the club is, give us some faster lines to play. I'm getting bored just playing eighth note lines. Have you got anything which is a bit more flashy? Now here's the thing, you don't actually need to learn special faster flashy lines. You in fact have everything you need pretty much already with the eighth note lines that you might have already learned. So in this lesson I'm going to show you just by some simple rhythmic alteration how you can transform lines that are normally played more slowly in eighth notes into fast, flashy phrases that you can use to brighten up your solos and create a bit of a climax. Okay, so this is pretty easy to do. Let's go to a close-up and get into it. Okay, so to get started with this technique, let's have a look at a line that I based quite a bit of the improvisation off that you can hear in the example solo for Stellar by Starlight that was featured in an earlier lesson video. So this is just a standard 2-5-1 line in the key of C minor. It's a nice long line though, which is quite useful for the purposes of this lesson that we're doing now. I'll just play it over a backing track so you can get a sense of what it sounds like. Here we go. So yeah, it's a pretty cool line. It's got lots of nice chromatics in it. It's got like I think a double approach idea in there, and it's also nice and long. So it's kind of a useful line to transform into something more flashy. So this is all you have to do. You can just play this in, say, triplets or in double time. Maybe we'll just stick to triplets because this tempo is quite difficult to play double time unless you've got really good chops. But most of us should be able to play a line like this in triplets instead. So let's have a listen to what that sounds like. Okay, so I'll just generally approach it with a triplet feel now. So just by changing the rhythm and thinking in terms of triplets instead of eighth notes means straight away you have a flashier line without needing to do anything else. But this is the issue though. You'll find that you won't have enough material anymore because previously the line sort of covered that whole 4-bar progression, and when you do triplets you've got like less amount of material because it's played faster, so you'll end up with a gap at the end. So all you have to do is start the line later in the bar. Okay, so rather than starting it where you started it with eighth notes, just wait a couple of beats and then play it in triplets, and it should roughly cover the whole bar. So let me show you what that sounds like now. Okay, so 1, 2, 1. I'll try it again. Okay. So that's kind of how you do it basically, is whenever you want to compress the rhythms, you just play the line later than when you usually would, and then it kind of works out that you'll have a piece of double time material that's a good starting point for kind of filling up a standard progression like this. So I actually find that this wasn't double time, of course, this was triplets, but you can still do the same approach with double time. I'll show you what I mean. I'll take the tempo down to a little bit slower for my fingers. So let's say 125. I'll start by playing the line just in boring old eighth notes, and then I'll compress it and wait a little bit into the progression before playing it in double time. Let's have a go. Okay, so that was the whole line and eighth notes. Now let's play it in double time. I'm just going to hang back for a few beats or even a whole bar. Okay, now double time. will go. So these are great ideas for getting more bang for your buck out of the ideas that you do learn. And you know, like all good compositions, it doesn't work when you have lots and lots of disparate ideas. It actually works a lot better if you have a few ideas but play with them in rhythmic or melodic ways. And this kind of rhythmic treatment of turning something into triplets or into double time is a very, very effective way to create climax and variety in your solo. So give this idea a whirl. I would suggest that you use one of the lines that you're already very familiar with. For example, if you've been a part of my Fundamentals of Jazz Guitar Improvisation course or one of my other courses, there's an abundance of lines that you should be able to pick out and give it this triplet or double time treatment. And so just remember, all you have to do is play it in a different rhythm, compress the rhythms like this, and just wait a couple of beats before you play it over the progression, and it should line up very nicely. Okay, have fun with this and let me know how you go.
And for more jazz guitar lessons, tips, and free stuff, visit www.FretDojo.com.